Well, don't you look all comfy and adorable?
Just
I can't hear you.
that's because I'm muttering to myself in pain and suffering. Pain and suffering!
The poor Cupcake.
I don't want to be in charge.
Is it tough being the big boss man?
Yeah, kind of. A little. It's alright, I'll live. Play.
You don't look like it.
It's... I have literally been yelled at since basically it became clear. Like, I didn't realize that. Holy shit. Because, like, I've been there by myself, charge, and they don't yell much. I mean, they just laying into me. Anyway, it's... I am Cupcake, the very tired. Been drinking water all day, trying to, like, hydrate myself, so at least I'll leave a wet corpse. I won't look like a mummy. I don't know.
I guess thanks for that.
I mean, it's... I don't know where I was going with that statement. I've been drinking so much coffee and energy drink trying to stay awake that I felt like today I really should drink water. I mean, I had a cup of coffee, like, with breakfast, but I've been trying not to sit, chug, constantly, stay awake.
Hello and welcome to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki, Cupcake, and Mish. Did you know that there's a company that turns dead bodies into an ocean reef? Which is apparently important for you humans for some reasons. Enjoy the show.
So how do we feel about Tim Drake?
How did you know that's what I was reading? I just saw it pop up on my Twitter feed.
Oh, okay. I'm ecstatic.
I mean, it's interesting. It feels like kind of a cop-out in the same sense of the word.
Well, he was also like... I think he was, like, the out-and-out version of the ignoring the youngest Robin.
Well, I mean, Damian Wade is like, what, 10?
Yeah.
That'd be a little weird.
We're gonna ignore
I
Damian.
mini ninja bitches in my time. You're fucking 10 years old. You're as old as your dad was when his parents were murdered. Like, don't give me that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be dead honest. Given what I've seen of his characterization, he's probably the one who would say shit like that, and no one would disbelieve him because he was raised by assassins. But I would also ask how a boy on the cusp of puberty was getting it on, and then trying not to in the same breath go, it's just like one of my Japanese animes.
But it looked like a really cute setup, like, oh, we didn't get to finish our date sort of deal.
Well, that's good, I think.
I mean, as a pan woman, I would have preferred him to be pan, but bi's fine.
I mean, it's better than just making him punchline of a joke, I guess.
Yes, much better.
Or going with like the really bad, like effeminately gay, effeminately whatever thing that they all used to do. Like, oh, you can tell he's gay. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, Jean Grey having to tell Iceman he's gay.
Right. As if he hadn't already figured that one out.
Like, yeah, great, Iceman's gay, that's fine. But someone else shouldn't have to tell you that.
Like, clearly, you would be aware of the fact that you were not attracted to the opposite sex.
Now, not realizing someone's hitting on you, that's fine. I've had to tell my husband that many a times. Like, dude, sweetie, that man was hitting on you.
Right. Oh no, I've been that dude in the gay bar where they're like, you know, they're talking to me. I'm like, he seems like a nice guy. I'm like, dude, he wanted to take you home. I'm like, really? Because I never got that vibe. They're like, wow, you're just like kryptonite, huh? I'm like, what? Dude, I don't even know when women are hitting on me. So like, this isn't like something like particularly about gay men. It's just like, yeah, they were hitting on you. Well, that's great. I had no clue.
It's because you're dead inside.
What's up?
It's because you're dead inside.
You assume there's anything left inside to begin with.
That's a valid point. My poor Cupcake.
I mean, I'm a highly paid sales manager. Fuck off.
I don't know, I assume there's stuff left inside because you have the ability to be tired.
Well, I mean, it's not the ability to be tired, it's my ground status. Right?
But yeah, going back for it, I'm all for Tim Drake.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite Robins anyway.
I mean, I like the shit where they're all together. Like,
yeah.
Like, riffing on each other and shit. That's like, those are like my favorite interactions. Like, with like the, 4 or 5 Robins are all hanging out together.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've like retconned it now, so there's not like a huge gap between like the first one and Damien. It's like 20 years instead of like 30 or 40.
Yeah. Oh, there she is.
Greetings.
But
we're talking about Tim Drake.
I feel like there was one of the animated ones that did something for Father's Day, and it's Bruce Wayne walking up the stairs in the Wayne Manor, and they're like one by one they're going by, you know, saying shit to him. And, like Damien goes by and like tips his tips his head or whatever, like pats him on the head and keeps going. And then he like realizes something is wrong and like walks into like the library and is just obliterated. And he's just like, boys!
Aww.
Yeah, there's a reason I have a Batman stuff Pinterest board, but now I have a Batfam. Specifically for stuff like that on Pinterest. Because it's great.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, they've done this thing now where it's all the like all of the Robins like hanging out together at Wayne Manor and like, getting into shenanigans with Alfred and Bruce Wayne. And that whole madness.
Yeah. Thankfully, you guys started after I clocked out for break, so yay. But yes, I specifically did look for something because I knew I had stuff on my to watch Netflix list thingy, like my watch list. And I was like, well, what do I feel like watching enough time? And then I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And that, like I mentioned earlier, the Rurouni Kenshin. And I think I started the second one yesterday, and like in the first 5 minutes looking at one of the characters going, yes, anime villain, that's 100% anime villain. Just, I didn't even need to be told. I was just like, yeah, white hair, random out, like the outfit and the little tiny glasses, and I'm like, yeah, Yeah. But for not having read or watched the manga or anime, I was pleased to watch. Yeah, it had enough bloodshed for me. I was like, ooh, very nice.
Rurouni Kenshin is very bloody.
I noticed.
Wasn't like the entire series kind of like scandalized? It turned out that the author had like I don't remember what it was, some sort of like unlawful sexual proclivities that like got him in a lot of trouble.
Oops.
I don't remember if it was child porn, but I feel like it was child porn.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Big oof.
Like, it turns out that there's like a lot of famous manga writers, artists, if you want to look at it, mangakas that like have really, really legal interests of the asexual. Like, little by little, it's coming out. Like, there's a lot of them that are closet pedophiles and shit.
Yeah, child pornography charges.
Yep.
Oof. Big oof.
Like, I'm not saying every last one of them, but I mean, there's been a lot of that of like they basically become old horny men and like they let it slip somewhere or do something stupid and get caught and just like ruin their shit. Because there was one where like some dude was just like taking off big time and they caught him like taking like photographs of high school girls like butts as they were like walking to school.
No bueno. No bueno.
I don't remember who it was at this point, but I just remember being like, this has happened multiple times that they've been caught doing, like, different authors have been caught doing shit like this. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What, like, in what universe did you think, you know what? This is a good idea. There's no possible downside to this.
Parallel universe. Go. Plug in my Fitbit watch. Have my cauliflower pretzels. Doot doot. That's my watching for the current week.
I finished watching the first season of Over the Moon. Finally.
Ooh.
Finally sat my ass down and finished watching it. It's so fucking cute.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sit there and watch your teeth rot.
Nice.
I hope it gets another season. It deserves another season. I don't know how much material there is that it's based on.
Yeah. That's good. Next, the new season of Stargirl started last night.
Yeah.
And it's season 2.
I've heard good things.
Yes, hubby and I both like it.
The movies don't always tend to be great, but the TV shows for DC tend to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Although
I did watch Supergirl.
I did watch Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad. And that was really good.
Like the first one or the second one?
The second one.
Okay. Good to know. I intend on watching it at some point, but the big movie for me that I'm waiting for is Dune. It's not coming out for like at least another month. So, yeah. To me, sad noises, sad noises.
Yeah, it's got good acting, considering John Cena's in it. He's actually acting really well in it.
Wait,
That's
John
good.
Cena's in Dune?
No, in Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Wow, I've known those two together. I heard talking about Dune, and you say John Cena, and I'm like, they put John Cena in Dune? Holy shit, is he gonna play the guy that Patrick Stewart played in the old movie?
No.
Fucking awesome.
The wrestler in Dune is what's
Isn't
his face?
Batista in Dune?
Yeah, it's
They put
Batista's
in
in
Dune?
Dune.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Batista's also a pretty good actor.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's the dude from fucking
Guardians
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
He plays
Cupcake
Drax?
is very tired. Please excuse his inability to speak. His brain hurts. Yeah, he was Drax, and he was awesome. Like, if he's remembered for nothing else, he will have made a career out of playing Drax. I feel like he was one of the big henchmen in one of the recent Bond movies too.
Was he in Bond? He's been doing a lot ever since he left WWE, and it's been so good for him.
I think it's like a lot of people have been well served by walking away from wrestling.
Dude, a lot of people have been either leaving their contracts or being let go and moving to AEW, and it's disheartening because WWE right now is such a shit show.
Right.
And I'm not actively watching either, but I hear AEW is the superior show right now.
And Bautista is the Beast Urban in the Dune movie.
Okay.
And we have Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho. Oscar Isaac as the Duke Leto. Timothy Chalamet as Paul. Zendaya as Chani. And we also have Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. Smile, Gurney. I am smiling. Great. I gave you cheese. I watched myself do it. Doggo is begging for cheese again.
Hmm. What was I gonna say? Oh, Suicide Squad. Well acted, good action, decent enough plot. Not the best movie ever, but good enough. Very funny.
I mean, this era,
wait a minute,
anything that reaches good enough has done an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
We're living through the apocalypse.
Oh, also.
Oh, hi, Rusty.
Thank you, Baxter. Also, from Suicide Squad. Polka Dot Man, David Dasmalchik.
Mm-hmm.
He is Peter DeFreeze in Dune. He looks creepy. That's great.
Well, he was creepy and great as Polka Dot Man.
Nice.
I think he just has one of those faces.
Yeah.
Which he's probably just a generally nice guy.
Yeah, that's what I read. He's generally a nice guy. It's just his face.
Oh, we've also been... I mean, this is only if you like game shows. We've been watching a lot of The Hustler. If anybody's heard about that, it's on ABC. You can also watch it on Hulu.
Maybe.
What's his name? Who the fuck hosts that? Craig Ferguson hosts that.
Boyfriend dungeon.
Okay.
Essentially, there are 6 players. Technically, only 5 because one person is the hustler. Nobody knows who the hustler is, not even the host, except for obviously the hustler. And you're trying to make as much money as possible, and at the end, there's only 3 players. And you're trying to figure out who the hustler is. Either the hustler takes all the money home, or the last remaining 2 other people split the pot. It's a little more complicated than that, but it's quite funny. And fun to watch. I'd recommend it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Did you all see my post about the Dixie Fire?
Yeah, that whole...
Yeah, I saw that.
We're number 1. We're number 1.
Something.
I'm so glad I don't live anywhere near the Dixie Fire.
Agreed.
I'm close enough to get the smoke, but not the fire itself. So I'm not in any evacuation areas.
Well, I guess that's good. Yeah, hi.
But yeah, that's over 500 acres and over 900 buildings destroyed.
Ew. That's no good.
Or the other way around, I don't remember. Either way, it's terrible, and PG&E is probably going to get sued again. Because last time it was the fire that took Paradise, that I forget the name of, that PG&E started, and this time PG&E started the Dixie Fire that took Greenville. So let me look it up. Is it threatening other towns as well?
Yeah, I was like, make sure I put the right earbud in the right ear.
Wait, did it kick Canyon Dam? Is that a town? Oh, I'm sorry, not 500, 500,000 acres.
Oof. Big oof. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind living in California, but, you know, fire. I think I'll deal with the snow.
There's parts of California that get snow. Just live there. That's where the racists live.
Don't want to deal with them either.
Not that I don't have racist in my town either. This is a farm town.
I already grew up in a place we called the Bubble. Upper white class. Upper to middle to upper white class Christians. Where everybody knows each other. So, yeah, always fun. Great place to live, but I don't know if I would go back.
So I was born in a town. Well, I was technically born in, but I was partially raised in a town called, and I would not go back. It's a beautiful place to visit, but I would not go back. It is very much a red town.
Yeah. 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 Like I said, not that I wouldn't live there if I had to, but I don't know. The level of snobbishness, if you don't have like the right last name, it's like
apparently people still talk if you marry outside your race, so
anyways.
Anywho.
Yes. Well, yes, I spoke to a almost spilled something.
Oh.
I spoke with somebody yesterday at work. Updated their address to Cupcake City. I was like, oh, hey, look at there. That's where Cupcake lives.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Like, literally from my town?
I'm not necessarily know if they're from your town, but when they were doing the address update, they were updating it to...
Right.
So they were at least moving there.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it's funny because, so one podcast group I listened to, Bad Magic Productions, they're based out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And that was the first time I heard of that city. If I had looked at that city and you asked me to pronounce it, I wouldn't have been able to before listening to the podcast. And then at work, for the one client, I started seeing Coeur d'Alene, and I'm like, it's funny. Funny. Kind of one of those things where, like, you don't start seeing something until, like, you know someone from there, or you get that car, or whatever. Is your eyebrow okay, Miss Kiki?
Oh, so I shaped my eyebrows with a razor and accidentally cut myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm very lazy. and so I do it with a razor instead of plucking.
Oh,
I don't blame you.
You still have eyebrows now? I don't notice you shaving your eyebrows off.
I don't shave them off, I shape them.
You shape them down. Yeah, but when you said I was shaving my eyebrows, in my head I'm going like, you're not one of the women I know who like shaved your eyebrows off?
No, I would never shave them off, because then I'd have to make up them on, and that's more effort than I would do.
Right.
Nah, just a little boo-boo.
I really need to look into the evolution of how we ended up with eyebrows. I mean, like, I understand, like, the evolutionary pressure of, like, why we have them, but, like...
They do so many things.
What's up?
Yes.
They do so many things, like emotional response, sweat retention.
Right.
So many social things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, Cupcake, I was telling another server at one point about the story we're writing about Leaf and Mish. I was like, you guys are just... I'm like, he's my muse.
Yeah.
And I mean that with all sincerity. Yeah. So... yeah, you know someone for half your life, it's tough to forget them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you talk to them on a regular basis.
Right.
Actually, I just cut someone out of my life because they're an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, shit.
Don't blame you.
And I've known them since they were like 5.
Oh, shit.
I went, no, I don't need this in my life.
Ooh.
We've already started growing apart. We disagree on a lot of medical and governmental things, and I'm like, no, I don't need this. I gotta protect my family. I don't need you in my life. They live in Utah anyway now, so it was real easy.
Oh, okay.
It's like, no, I'm blocked.
Okay. That makes me feel good. So it's like no one that we've like met and talked with.
No.
Okay, good. It's always weird, like when people that like we've had regular contact with, like go off the deep end. Like it's a government conspiracy. I'm like, yes. Fucking medical vaccination is a government conspiracy. That's why we've been doing it for over half a century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves whooping cough.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I pick on whooping
and
cough just because it's got the most obvious symptom.
Like,
But
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I've had this. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like, geez, what did my computer do? Sorry, my computer is being a little bit stupid.
Computer.
Go ahead, Cupcake. I need to figure this out. Go ahead, Cupcake.
Oh, I was gonna say because like I've had conversations with people, my grandparents, in which I've stated like, you guys were alive before vaccinations became standard. My mother is just old enough that like she's like the first generation to be alive for it. Because we started regular. I mean, not all the vaccinations like the 3 of us got in our generation, but like it's the 60s. They start going like, we gotta vaccinate people, or this shit's just gonna keep running out of control. And people fucking forget because we're talking like over half a century ago. And I use that because people think like 1960s, that was 10 years ago. No, motherfucker, that was 60 years ago. Like, we're talking a long time. Like, it's been, like, I like, for me, trying to put in perspective how long ago some of the early 1900s is hard. Because people are like, well, that's not that long ago. I'm like, it's already been more than 100 years since the end of World War I. Everybody stares at me and I go, that was a couple years ago that we celebrated it being over 100 years since we finished the First World War. We're coming up, I mean, like, it's still like another 20 years away, give or take, but like, we're coming up on 100 years from the start of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're closer to the 100-year anniversary of World War II than we are from the end of World War II. Like, we've been vaccinating for a long time at this point. And in, like, the scheme of modern human history, like, it's a well-studied, well-understood medical concept We know it works. We know it's, I mean, in the scheme of things, what we're vaccinating people against, the chance of side effects and serious injury from vaccination is infinitesimally small compared to not vaccinating people against the diseases.
Yeah.
And it's become hard because the quote-unquote old people alive now are now old enough that they're on the cusp of never seeing an entire lifespan or dying or being seriously injured by we're considered regularly transmitted diseases. Like, there's a chart. I never find it when I need it. There's a chart that shows like how easily like specific diseases are spread. Mm-hmm. And what you see is there are two major factors about like, because I've asked the question politely, but asked the question like, why did we pick the diseases we picked to vaccinate? Like, why were they the ones that got vaccines and other diseases were not as readily taken care of? And what you find out is there's two major things: virulence, how easily it's spread, and like the effective mortality rate of being infected with the disease are what really drove us on, why it's tetanus, measles, mumps, whooping cough, German measles, polio, chickenpox is really interesting. Chickenpox isn't particularly deadly, but the secondary infection of shingles is. And so they developed a chickenpox vaccine because they realized shingles was caused by the primary chickenpox infection. So again, it goes back to virulence, and that one is both virulence and mortality rates. Polio is mortality rates. Measles is virulence. Whooping cough is mortality rates. Tetanus is mortality rates. Like I know it probably sounds really stupid and oversimplified, but that's literally like why we pick the diseases we pick to vaccinate against. It's like, does it spread easily or does it kill people readily? And I mean, it doesn't even have to kill readily. I mean, if it just causes serious, irreversible damage, it also got picked up. I mean, like whooping cough. I always pick a whooping cough because whooping cough is obviously deadly. Like, the people who are like, I don't understand, it's not a big deal. I'm like, have you ever seen somebody in the midst of a whooping cough infection? It's not called whooping cough for shits and giggle. Like,
you are legitimately coughing your lungs out of your chest.
I mean, tetanus is terrifying. Measles can cause permanent death. It will literally kill the auditory nerves in your ears. Chickenpox, I think, can actually make you go blind if you're unlucky. And that's rare. Both of these side effects are not particularly common, but they're not uncommon either. Like, they're rare in the sense of like 5%, not 1%. So, 100,000 people, 5,000 are going to go deaf. Oh, and because measles is literally, this is what I was getting back to, the chart. They show, like, if you sneeze, how many people around you are likely to get infected. And, like, common cold, guy sneezes, boom, boom, 2 people. Like, the flu and I think even, like, COVID was, like, guy sneezes, boom, 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 4 people. They get to the far end of the chart. Measles all by itself. Guy sneezes, all the way around. 18 people on average are infected when somebody spreads a viral load of the measles. I mean, like, literally it shows the guy go like this, and like a whole crowd goes red. And that to me was like, well, so that's why we vaccinate against measles, because every time somebody sneezed, the whole town got sick.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes, very funny. Like, you go look at the history books, early 1900s, before they had the vaccine, it was just assumed that it was going to run through a town and wipe out like 10% of the people. By the by, measles is still pretty lethal. It kills all of the weak, the young, and the old. I don't know. I try to keep an even head about this, but like, we're sitting in the middle of a worldwide pandemic that just keeps raging. And I had stated at the beginning it would be 5 to 10 years, and I continue to believe it'll be 5 to 10 years before it, we do enough cycles of it that people start to build up a generational and societal resistance to it. People are still going to die. It'll be the next flu eventually, basically. But it's going to kill a huge swath of the human population. It already has, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to go away. We're just going to keep dying. And I know that's like a really morbid thing to say, but it's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people who were vaccinated are dying from COVID. And everybody's going, well, there, see? The vaccine didn't work. Well, it's like a bulletproof jacket. You could still get shot in the head.
Yeah. Very much so.
It's not a perfect wall. A big enough viral load will still get you sick. The idea being is you've primed the immune system so it probably won't kill you. It doesn't guarantee that you won't die. I'm trying not to sound like an anti-vaxxer when I talk about people with this shit, but it's all of this is us trying to band-aid a population that doesn't want to be inconvenienced. I mean, that's what it is. People are like, my life as I know it cannot change. If I'm inconvenienced, I will riot. No, you don't get to go out to the bar. No, you don't get to go out to that restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's a reason that hubby and I are quarantining ourselves until Saturday. Because, he tested positive, and we're like, nope, we're not going to endanger others. Is it inconvenience to us? It's a pain in our asses, because we can't really kiss each other, and we can't go out, and it's a pain in the ass. But to protect other people, we are staying in this goddamn house unless really necessary.
So, has your husband is he a carrier? He didn't get sick, he just had I was just curious because I wasn't sure if he got sick or if he's a carrier, which is even like more
I think he just had a positive test.
Well, that's fun.
I'll be right back. The dog needs out.
1 second.
Leak anyway. I gotta check with my mom on dinner. I'll be right back. Once he's home.
Okay, so to answer Cupcake's question, now that I'm off that call, and I really don't like some motherfuckers sometimes. So we both are vaccinated with both pokies, both shots.
Right.
And so technically we could be carriers, technically. But he went, when he found out like 2 weeks ago. So this coming Saturday would be 2 weeks for when he came home. So that following Tuesday is when he got that email like, oh, hey, one of your colleagues that you met up with tested positive for COVID. And he was like, oh, fuck. Went to get tested, and he tested positive. Now, I don't know if because we have the vaccine, if that is going to make us test positive for COVID or what have you. But then we were like, we're quarantining anyways because, well, yeah, we're not spreading this to anyone.
Okay.
But he hasn't been symptomatic.
Oh, no. Neither of us have been symptomatic. Like, I've been checking, like, almost every day. I've had a spoonful of honey. And, like, yeah, I can still taste that. I can still smell the coffee grounds. I can,
Right. So it might just been the type of test, because there's one of them, once you've been vaccinated, you're always going to show positive.
Uh-huh. Sorry, I'm typing furiously here because I'm just...
Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. I was just going to tell the anecdote that my poor father got polio the day before he was going to be vaccinated for it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, like when Call the Midwife shows all the nurses and all the mothers and fathers weeping from relief that their children are going to fucking die. Yeah, that's not a lie. It's not a lie.
Hmm.
Right.
That show's still on my to-watch list, but so many things are.
Oh, yeah. Geez, so many messages coming through for that. I am turning off notifications for this one because I really don't want to see mute. Okay.
What is that about a Snickers ad?
Snickers.
Apparently an ad in Spain had to be removed for being accidentally homophobic.
Ooh.
Oh my. Here, I'll link the CNN article into the chat.
Oh.
Essentially, an effeminate man goes to the bar and asks for a fruity drink. Instead, the bartender gives him a Snickers bar. When he eats it, he turns back into a bearded muscle man. Instead of the effeminate man.
God, if fucking give me that. We didn't know that. We didn't know. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'll give them credit. The American ones where they have the celebrities. It's not the same without a Snickers. I'll give them that. That's kind of funny. But just reading that description, what?
That was...
We didn't know it was homophobic.
How did that get past anybody?
Yeah, where was not quality and control, standards of relations in all of this?
Ah. Although I don't know what it's like in Spain, so...
Like, it's a Catholic country. I can't believe it's that much different than us.
True.
I mean, okay, Protestant, but you get the difference. I should say our similarities are more than our differences.
Yeah. The advert comes just weeks after a suspected homophobic killing of a 24-year-old man.
Wait, what happened?
Apparently, a couple weeks ago, there was a homophobic killing of a 24-year-old man, which prompted protests across the country.
Our country?
No, in Spain.
Oh, Spain. Okay, I wasn't putting it together.
The poor man was beaten outside of a nightclub to death.
I mean, that's what does. I mean, it's always a nightclub or a bar. It's always alcohol involved. They go, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't drunk.
Whoops.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm back at work, so hence I'm going to be muted because apparently we had a high influx of call volume.
That's fine. We understand.
And making sure. Anyways, Snickers looks good, but my body would probably be like too much sugar.
Those frozen Snickers are good. That's what
The Snickers are good. Anyways.
Color changing robot chameleon.
Mm.
Well, okay.
Well, now what can't robots do? Because now they can hide from us.
It's a Terminator.
Yes, it's the Terminator. Let's see here. Hand transfer. Okay, my phone just buzzed. Why is it buzzing? It's about the what if. Never mind. I was like, never mind.
I haven't watched the new What If yet.
Neither, but I don't know if I want to watch it. I mean, not that I wouldn't, but I'm just kind of sitting here going like,
I'm probably going to wait until they're all out and binge watch them.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm doing with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. One of the people on another server, when we were watching the Loki series, she's like, "You haven't watched it yet?" I'm like, okay. I explain. I'm like, because of I don't mind spoilers, and because of Pinterest, I know plot point, plot point, plot point, plot point. I don't know how they string together.
Right.
So she's like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's it's horrible." But I've seen clips and everything, and I'm like, this is really nice. You know, like, of course I'm not doing any undue violence and catching up and making amends, and then cutscene to crash, boom, bang, oops. Oopsie. I'm like typical Bucky. Yeah, I was coming back from break and going, my computer has locked me out and it's not letting me get back in. Holy crap. And so, of course, that made me late. And I was like, thank you. But so like WandaVision, I kind of did the same thing, like where I was like, oh, let me watch this. I watched like half of the first episode, then stopped until it was like at least halfway through the season, and I started watching it. And
no.
Okay. And the only one that I watched like start to finish was Loki, because that's the one I was really hyped for.
So far, I've really enjoyed all the Disney Plus shows.
That's good.
Not that they were all perfect, I've just enjoyed them.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun.
Fun.
I mean, you know, not every movie, TV show, etc. has to be live. Like, it drives me crazy that people are like, it lacks any real integrity. It's supposed to be a fun movie for chill. Shut the hell up. But why the Jungle Cruise? I don't know, nor do I really care. It's a Disney movie.
Rawr.
Arr.
Yeah, lots of my variance is gonna take a tank today. So I had to log out twice before I finally figured out what was going on with my work toolbar. And then I have to log out again because, you're breaking up. And each time you're breaking up, you kind of have to do a specific set of things to kind of reset the audio. And one of those things is to log out of the thing that keeps control of your variance. Ugh. Annoying. Yeah. And you have to say something about it. I roll. Hence the furious typing again.
Typity, type, 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 type.
Yeah. And in another server, which is Patreon based, so if you're a patron of this creator, you get to be a part of the Discord. Basically, there's a few of us who have become like Avengers because like the non-Patreon exclusive stuff that he posts like on other places like YouTube and Soundgasm and stuff, people are uploading it and claiming it as theirs and not as his. And we're all sitting there going, you motherfuckers.
Don't even get me started. I follow a couple Japanese artists and I keep finding their shit on like Pinterest type websites, and it's like the guy, and legitimately the one guy, like, he wants $5 a month. That's the threshold to get into his Patreon, and like it's nothing. He posts twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, and it's $5.
Yeah, like
good art, like fully completed pieces of art.
Oh, jeez.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, like it's he basically is writing manga, but he does it like one page at a time every 3 or 4 days. But I mean, it's full color, like it's like fully completed art. I'm just like, you are a machine, sir. This is nuts.
Like, so with this creator, he's a voice actor, does audios, and he has multiple tiers, and as you go up,
right,
it gets. Thank you for calling.
And she's gone.
We'll just have to wait to hear the rest of that story.
But yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. I don't think they should pirate, individual artists' work.
Independent work.
Right. I don't feel as bad about major corporations. I still don't think you should do it, but like sometimes they have it coming with big corporations. Well, you have like the people with like Patreons and Fanbox and all that stuff, and it's like, and they're sharing it all over the place. It's like, dude, $5. Like, just fucking pay it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna even touch the cosplayers with like the $150 a month Patreons. It's like, holy shit, that is high art right there. At least it better be.
Oh, fucking yeah.
Well, and it's like when I talk to you about my D&D group wanting a picture, like what you gave me was legitimately like market price. They're like that's the best. I'm like, you guys have looked around. What was the best offer you got? About 700. I'm like, well, there you go. But what are you complaining about? Jesus Christ.
I'm back. But yeah, like I was saying, like, so as you go up the tiers, you get more patron benefits, as one does. But the lowest amount he has to get some of the Patreon exclusive stuff, $1. $1.
Wow.
$1.
That's it?
Yeah. Let me bring it up real quick.
Yeah, why are people starting it for $1 a month? Jesus.
Well, yeah, like, but there is non-Patreon exclusive stuff and there's Patreon exclusive stuff. But if you want the Patreon exclusive stuff, it's $1. Otherwise, you're okay. You can get it other places. And I'm looking up.
The exclusive stuff. It's $1 a month. That's
exactly.
It's like I get some of the stuff where it's like somebody wants like $100 a month. It's like,
yeah,
I can see why it's happening. I'm not saying it's right, but I can see why it's happening.
Yeah, but like if you like, and hopefully there's no patrons re-uploading stuff because he's like, if I find Patreon exclusive stuff being uploaded by not me, I'm going to come down like the wrath of God. Because there's stuff that he releases that's non-Patreon exclusive. But you can do $1, $5, $7, $10, $15, or $25. And so it's like you have a lot of options for this person to support him. Don't sabotage him because you're pissing all of his patrons off. You're pissing us off so bad. I'm like, and me as a creator myself, I'm like, the rage and fury. I'm like, no, there's so much that goes into creating the voice and the character and how you're going to portray that character.
Okay.
Anyways.
Kiki makes me an icon, a user icon, every fuck month. I don't even want to know how ridiculous. Well, I mean, I know how ridiculous that is. Like, literally, I've had people on other servers and stuff go like, "Your icon changes every month." I'm like, I have a friend who is an amazing artist, and they make me an icon every month, and it's fucking bizarre to me. Like that, like I have people who have had the same icon since they were in high school, and like mine's changing every month because I'm being gifted a piece of art every fuck month. That's not lost on me. I'm not, like, I work with tradespeople. Like, the idea of hard work is not fucking lost on me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So when people are like, I don't really think, I was just talking to Kiki about, I have a D&D group. They wanted a group picture done. And the best they could find, looking around, was like $700, I think it was like $745. Kiki quoted me, I want to say it was like $400. And they were like, that's still way too high. I'm like, you guys have no concept of the value that you're asking for.
Exactly. How many people are in your group?
I miscalculated because I forgot to count myself in the DM, so I think it worked out to be, I think I said 4 and it was actually 6.
Okay. For 6 characters being fleshed out properly, $750 is a steal. And they don't recognize that. I'm like, they could have easily quoted you $2,000 to make 6 characters, depending on if you wanted just a group picture, single pictures, one for each person, that kind of thing.
Well, right. I mean, like, I think he quoted me like $60 a person. So after everything was said, I figured like 400, about 400, 450, somewhere in there. And it was like, and I thought that that was, go a little bit above what she quoted me to them to make sure that she's getting, the correct amount.
Yeah.
And they scoffed at me. I'm like, well, what was the best you guys could find? Because we were all looking around for an artist. Which, by the way, we never actually got it done because they were all too cheap. They all backed away. Like, I'm not spending that kind of money. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yes, your loss.
So, yeah.
Well, the thing that really like drove me like off the deep end was when they started like I showed them some examples of Kiki's art, and they're like, well, I don't know if this is really. I'm like, don't even fucking go there, because if the next words out of your mouth are, I don't know if she's a real artist, you're not gonna have teeth very much long.
Cupcake.
Oh, I was pissed because they're like, oh, they wanted to see some examples of what your work looked like. So, stylistically, they say originally. So I started pulling up some of the stuff that you put up, like on your not Redbubble, but you had it up for like you could put it on a shirt or a bag or whatever. I was like, so this is stuff that you thought was worth selling. So I'm like, this is a good example. They're like, I don't know if I would really call it. I'm like, if the next words out of your mouth are art or she's not an artist, you're dead. I was so pissed. I was so pissed. They started playing this fucking game. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, you guys draw your own stuff. Like, well, I don't have any artistic ability. Well, there you go. For you to look at somebody else's work and go, I don't know if I would call that real work, and then you have nothing to show for it in response, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. One of my pet peeves is trade people being highly undervalued. It's like when I'm at work and they're like, well, can't you give me advice on this project? I'm like, no, go talk to a professional. Well, they cost a lot of money. No shit. It's almost like they've spent time and energy honing a set of skills that you don't have. Dipshit. I am not someone to be trifled with when they play that fucking card of like, well, I don't know if it's really worth that amount of money. Then you do it. Well, I can't do it. Well, then it's worth the money. It can't work both ways. I mean, and like, when the person in question is a friend and I know I'm getting, a good rate on it, and I know for a fact I'm getting a good rate because when they talk to a professional, like a professional selling, like with a website, like taking commissions, and it's double that price, like clearly I'm getting a break on it. And that was also what drove me right up the wall. They're going like, well, what was the quote you got? Oh, $750. I go, well, what was the quote you got? 1,000. What? Like, what? This isn't magic. This is somebody doing physical work. Like, what?
Yeah. They're just...
Sorry.
Especially when it comes to, like, digital art, people just don't realize the time it takes. And even if it... Because there are some artists out there who are just masters at it and can do it in no time. It still took them years and years and years and years and years and years of practice to do that. It's a skill, and it required all of that time. You're gonna pay for that.
Yeah. I mean, the person, they go, well, they make it look effortless. They make it look effortless because they've been studying for 20 or 30 years minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's the, like, professional animators. They're like, draw a reference shot of X character, and they, they've got the animator's desk, and they're like, hey, Mickey Mouse. It's like, of course. I mean, they've been doing it for 30 years. And it's, they always pick like the guy who's been there, 30, 40 years. So not only has he been working for the company drawing the same character over and over again, but like, like half of these guys, they're like, well, I don't understand what they're like. this person was, you know, you get far enough, but they've been professionally trained by masters, like people who were doing the thing they're doing for as long as they've been doing it now, passing it on to the next generation. And they're probably doing the same thing now to the next generation. Like, the shit is passed on. It's not magic. Okay, I mean, like, there's some corollaries with magic in a fantasy setting of passing it on, but my point still stands. It's just like every tradecraft I see this happen. People are like, well, I don't understand why I have to pay all this money for somebody because you don't know how to do it correctly. That's why you're paying money.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything else in life, you can learn to do it, but you'll have to invest time and money into it. Time at the very least. No matter what skill, time. And I repeat, like I work with like electrical, I like repeatedly, I'm like, go ask a professional. I'm like, yeah, but they cost a lot of money. I'm like, and? They're like, well, you don't cost any money. And therefore you'll get no advice. And it's only going to get worse because now I'm in charge.
That just means when we finally move to Minnesota, you can give Huppy a job.
Pretty much. I mean, my place is always dying for help.
I mean, we think about it like every fucking day. If we could.
I mean, a state that bursts into flame twice a year? I don't know why you wouldn't want to stay.
I mean, it's pretty much becoming a state that is never not on fire.
Right. Global climate change is the farthest. It's a liberal conspiracy. Like fluoridation of the water.
It's just an issue of getting other people to come with us.
Well, it'll happen eventually because it's a matter of time before the West becomes inhospitable. Like,
yeah.
Right? Or you live in one of the Tesla domes.
I don't think we can afford that.
Well, I didn't say it was for you. It's for the rich. This is not Paradigm City, all right? I'm not Roger the Negotiator here. To be dead honest, I'd probably be Schwarzkopf. Screaming with a mask on. Something Black Forest. And nobody in the room will get the reference but me and Keith.
Yep.
I am a nerd.
So, Christian author, his name, has declared that COVID-19 was God's punishment for fashion stores and sports teams apparently being so pro-LGBT.
Oh, clearly. That's why it's wiping out all the conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and every time, the people who say this shit are the ones who die of it, and they go, I don't understand, I thought it was a punishment for the people I hate. No, it just turns out that it's sees, and you're an idiot.
Yeah, just like Christian leaders know exactly what the fuck God wants to tell everyone. No, you don't. You don't know who the hell is up there. If it's the Western Christian God, if it's Yahweh, if it's a fucking frog, you don't know. Okay, there could be nobody up there for all we know. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, it's for the abominations of LGBTQA+. No. It's taking out the people that it needs to take out to be callous.
Apparently he has a history of also claiming that natural disasters are God's judgment for the gays.
I've ranted at least once to myself about this, because often I do that when I'm alone in the house. That's when I let the anger out. So no one has to listen to my shit.
Right.
Especially when, there's one point where I remembered my aunt telling me she would pray for me in reference to having children. And then me sitting there thinking, I would rather you pray to God for the children who actually need it. Because the God you're praying to apparently allows for child sex slaves and children to die of disease and hunger. They're starving to fucking death. And you're praying. I appreciate the sentiment, but just looking at her going, thanks.
You know, son, God works in mysterious ways. I have 3 words for you, sir. Pediatric bone cancer!
Exactly. It's like God has a plan for everybody. I'm like, for children to die at the age of 2 in horrendous fucking pain, like under the age of 2, they're 18 fucking months old and they have fucking horrific bone cancer. I'm like, are you shitting me? It was their destiny to come down here and then die horribly and make their parents fucking grieve. What the fuck did that child do to deserve that destiny? So yeah,
I've told you guys about the dude who like came in trying to preach God to me at work.
Yeah.
Pick the wrong fucking hombre, I tell you what. There's a reason that I have the title, the one who bears his fangs at God. He had a bad day. I was ready for every one of his little softball pitches, and I threw them right back at his head at high speed, motherfucker. You know what I followed up with pediatric bone cancer with, don't you? If there's a God, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he goes, well, can I pray for you? I'm like, hey, dude, you do whatever you gotta do to make yourself feel better at night. Me? I'll be in bed taking a nap.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a little bit more, like, I'm seeing, like, as the whole interest in the Loki show made me more interested in the actual deity. So that's why I was like, I've always thought, even before that interest, I've always thought, like, if God is omniscient, I don't have to go to church. I don't have to go to confession. Okay? If God is everywhere and knows everything, sees everything, hears everything, I can go have communion with God in the middle of the fucking forest. I can go in the middle of a fucking parking lot and say, praise the Lord, and be done.
Oh my God. Just a side note. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Luis Guzman are going to play Gomez and Morticia Adams in a Netflix series.
Yeah, in Wednesday.
Ooh.
The one where she's where she's the Tim Burton one.
Where she's an adult.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of people playing people, how do we feel about Idris Elba playing Knuckles?
That's going to be hilarious. I don't care.
Cockney Knuckles!
I mean, I'm excited.
I'm for it. I just want to know what Knuckles we're getting. Because Knuckles is so many different kinds of Knuckles.
Probably the laid-back Knuckles. I'm guessing that they've been, writing for like the last 10, 15 years. He's kind of a cranky, like, burned-out surfer is what I always go with.
But I want the Sonic Boom Knuckles.
I never saw the Sonic Boom Knuckles.
Don't watch the video game, but the TV show's awesome. Where he's a blithering idiot.
That could be fun.
That would be so fun. I feel like it's probably going to be more classic Knuckles at the start. It depends on how they introduce him. Like, is he going to be working for Robotnik?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, because Robotnik, I think he's going to run into Robotnik because at the end of the first movie, Robotnik's in Mushroom Hill Zone.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't say that, but to me it seems pretty clear. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it was just, he gave me the whole the whole spew about God without realizing, who I am and where I've been and what I've done and what I've seen and how I feel and blah, 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 blah. And my favorite one by far, the one he had no answer for, which they never have an answer for when they peddle this shit to me, is, I watched a little girl die, but she was baptized, so she got to go to heaven. Why does she have to be baptized to go to heaven?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you wouldn't understand. No. I want to hear it from your lips. Why did she need to be baptized to go to heaven? If God is truly loving, why was that the important part? You just told me she died of leukemia. So she didn't do anything to deserve to die. Why does she get to go to heaven because she was baptized, not just because she died of something horrible? Well, I know. I wouldn't understand the dogma. I was raised Roman Catholic, motherfucker. I understand the dogma. Blink, blink.
Yeah.
I'll have a book that I think, no. I don't want to hear about your book. I want to hear why. Why in your mind is the baptism the important part?
And that's why, Cupcake, I started questioning. Because you started asking me the same damn questions.
Right.
You started poking holes. You're like, but why? But why? You forced me to sit there and think about why do you believe that? Why is it like this? Why? And I'm like, you know what? Good point. So a lot of times, that's why I just go to church twice a year. Because I don't want to hear about goddamn abortion and how it's wrong. I don't want to hear about all this shit. Like, just no.
And I wasn't mean. I simply asked him, explain to me in your own words why that was the important part.
Oh, I'm not going to heaven.
They can never explain it. They can never say, well, it's because, I'm like, forget the dogma. Why? If it was you, if you were God, and some little girl or boy died of some horrible disease, and they were not baptized, why did they not get to go to heaven? Is it because they're a non-believer? Is it because of their skin color? Come on, tell me about your deeply held beliefs.
Exactly.
Well, you see, I have this horse farm, and I'm like, I don't want to hear about your horse farm. I want to hear you answer the question. Well, can I pray for you?
If you want.
You, Chief. You're still not answering the question.
Because you can't. And you're not brave enough to say it out loud that you have no answer.
Because I don't consider myself a person. I don't think that I'm going to heaven or whatever is there after we die. You want to know why? Because I don't hold any of these highfalutin beliefs that I've done the right thing all the time. I know for a fact that I will probably be judged wanting when the time comes. But the reality is, I would never do it to anybody else. And so I can die with that in my heart. That if it was me, I would not damn somebody to suffering for all of eternity because of something as stupid as they weren't the right religion, or the right skin color, or they didn't think the right thing. I mean, I don't really give a shit. I don't care.
And would you really want to be in that kind of heaven?
Right.
No, you wouldn't. The heaven that the conservative Christians like to talk about, you wouldn't want to be in that heaven anyways. And who knows? Heaven might actually be full of all kinds of people, believing all kinds of things, looking all kinds of ways, being all different kinds of people who were true to themselves and true to others and kind and just. That could be heaven. So if heaven is what conservative Christians make it out to be, I don't really want to go there.
I mean, there's just this moment of zen where the guy has to admit, he can't verbally admit it, but you can see it in his face, that he has reached an immovable object. That my beliefs are so heavily entrenched into my very soul that he will never move me with his rhetoric. Because every time he tries, I come slamming back like a bulldozer. And so he's forced to stand there and face judgment. Because I'm calling all the little bullshit moves that he's tried right out onto the floor. I will not let him get away without an answer. And so he's forced to finally just retreat and go, you know what? You're right. I'm leaving. Godspeed. At no point did I call him names. I wished him well. I told him it was nothing personal. But he really shouldn't have started this fucking fight!
Times like this, I'm glad my parents were non-practicing by the time they got around to me.
Yeah. See, what I think about my parents, granted, my mom said she wanted us to go to a Catholic school. So glad they couldn't afford it. Never going to tell her that. But they made us go to church every week through confirmation. Then they told us, you can make your own choice about whether or not you go to church every week. They gave us that base and then said, okay, you're old enough, you're 14, whatever, and now you can decide whether or not you want to go. So that's what I like about that, is, hey.
So,
yeah.
My mom is a non-practicing Episcopalian, and my father was pretty much agnostic by the time I was born. He was raised Jewish Catholic, which is just a fun mixture. The priest actually called him a bastard.
Oh, fun. And also on my point earlier about God being, if God truly is omniscient, or great creator, whoever's up there, they will know what's in my soul when I die.
If there is something up there and it's omnipresent, it knows all, it sees all. Why does it need a hole in a stadium?
Right.
Exactly.
I secretly hope it finds justice in my soul.
Hey, I've said before, Cupcake, there's a reason I think of you a lot when I pray to St. Michael, and I pray to him every single fucking day. Every single night, that's one of the 4 prayers I say before I go to sleep, is the prayer to St. Michael. So, yeah, sort of justice, flaming sort of justice is the Cupcake.
But no, I was pretty much raised not really religious. I went to church for like special events or to hear my grandpa sing because he was part of the choir. I did go to Sunday school a couple of times, but that's because I wanted to play on the playground. Not because I give a shit about God.
Yeah.
I think I had a crush on a girl, too. Not that she reciprocated, and I can't even remember her name, but whatever. But no, I'm not baptized. I didn't get married in a church. And if I do ever have children, I'm not planning on having any religion involved in that. I don't see why.
I agree wholeheartedly with every ounce of my...
Oof. That was a nasty burp.
Indeed. Excelsior. But yeah, my angry moment with a believer of God. It's really fun too, because like I disturb the shit out of people who are like that too.
They're just so used to people being polite, because most people are at least semi-religious,
Right?
or agnostics, or at least have been trained to be nice.
And I quote,
like even me,
like you. Oh, sorry.
I would have been like, don't want to have this conversation, sure. I'm going to move away from you now.
Whereas Cupcake just unfurls his battle axe and runs screaming at the guy.
Yeah. Because I don't like angry me, so I move away from stuff like that.
That's my secret, Kiki. Angry me is real me. My fury at the hypocritical will always outweigh my need to be polite. Because, let's be dead honest, the line that really like warmed the cockles of my heart, maybe even the sub cockles, was, I don't understand how such a nice guy like you could be such an incorruptible monster. And I was like, thank you, sir. That's the best thing anybody said to me all day.
You're not a monster. You're a cupcake.
Rather be a wolf than a sheep.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I used to be angry a lot, and I didn't like that me.
It's just such an ingrained part of my being that I can never shed it.
That is not to say that you shouldn't get angry over things. Like, there are times to speak up and whatnot.
Right. Well, the whole thing was, I didn't start the fight. He did.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something along the lines of, are you not one of God's children? And I was like, no, let's not go there. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't want to know. Just leave it there. He's like, no, really, I'm curious.
Please don't say that to Cupcake. Motherfuckers, you're gonna get your head chipped. Oh,
yeah, no, and I mean, that's the whole thing. I want to be clear. I only retaliated. I never provoked the fight. In fact, initially, when he started this, I tried to push him away with like a, hey, this is not, you don't want to go here with, have a nice day. And he's like, no, I want to know. Talk to me about it.
See, that would have been different.
I mean, I don't know if those were exactly his words, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he kept probing, and I went, okay, you want the bull, here's the horns.
Mm-hmm. If somebody doesn't leave you alone, then that's different. Usually when I'm polite, they leave me alone.
Right.
And I can continue walking and walk away. Now, if they come to my door, that's a different story. But no, most of the time, they don't come to my door, so... I haven't had one come to my door in so long.
I think I'm on, like, every major religious blacklist there is at this point. I mean, also the last time somebody pulled it, I was out in the yard pulling weeds, and the woman was going, oh yeah, of course there was a great fun. There'll be another one. I'm like, where will the water come from? He's like, well, God will make it, but where will he make it from? Well, he's got, no. Where's the water going to come from? I want to hear your reasoning on this. And not magic. How is he going to do it? It's going to have to come from somewhere. We live in a world with rules. Water can't come from nowhere, Chief. What's he gonna do? He's gonna bring it out of the air? Can't magic it into existence. It doesn't work that way. Where did the water go when the last flood happened? Magicked away? Do you know how much water it would take to flood the entire Earth? You gotta go like 29,000 feet vertical. So needless to say, nobody comes to our house to proselytize anymore.
I think it's just the way our apartments are built. Most people don't come in general unless it's a package to deliver. Like,
right.
We don't get trick-or-treaters either or anything like that. It is pretty nice of my, we have, our neighbors are Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're nice enough to not try to convert us, though.
Right. I don't mind having a nice conversation with people, just don't try your religious bullshit on me.
They have never once tried. Don't even talk about it. Only learned that they were Jehovah's Witnesses when we were, well, I accidentally closed.
Oh no! Not again.
No, I didn't close the recorder. I accidentally closed the pop-out. There we go.
Oh, okay. So we're still good.
There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. When we were putting up Christmas decorations, she's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, it's Christmas time. That's right." See, we're Jehovah's Witnesses. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
Oh, I didn't see what you put in chat. Are those fucking really...
Yes, that's really a clipping from a news article. Like, not even gonna try to, be discreet.
Save this so I can add it to the podcast later.
Okay.
For editorial notice, part with the hat with the swastika.
I got another just fun one for you. I found this at random, trolling the internet. Oh, it's not gonna load. Okay, fine. Screw you too.
Oh, I've seen this before. I am disgusted.
Right.
Anyway. What time is it?
It is 3:16 p.m.
When does your D&D start?
In about 25 hours.
Oh, do you not do it on Wednesday anymore?
They moved it to Thursday because one of the guys does bar trivia on Wednesdays now that we're not COVID locked out anymore.
Oh,
So we had to
okay.
move it because the one guy needed a change. Honk, honk.
Oy vey.
Oy vey,
Indeed.
Indeed.
Leaving.
Woosah. Just woosah. So long, anyways. Come on, click where I want you to click. Thank you. I'm like, what am I looking for in the start menu? You know, I do this every day. I'm like, where the fuck is it? No, that's where it is. Please, dear God, just 12 more minutes.
Oh, Jeopardy found its host. It's Mike Richards, the guy no one wanted.
Well, isn't that fantastic?
Oh, and well, never mind. They learned their lesson with Coulson.
I mean, let's be dead honest. Corporate America is nothing if completely out of touch.
Yeah.
Oh, Maya Bialik will also host it for the Primetime and spin-off series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everyone came up and said, LeVar Burton. And they're like, no, we'll go with this other guy.
Sigh.
Yep. The sigh. On a happier note, I've been, during the long times between calls before the podcast here, I was deep in brainstorming mode for a second part of a fan fiction I'm doing.
Okay.
I love it.
Ooh.
Well, it's the Overwatch one that I've referenced a couple times.
Okay.
And where the first one was because of a discussion in the Not Safe for Work channel about Jesse McCree. And yes, the first one I wrote does have a Not Safe for Work part. It's slow burn to very explicit sex scene. But they went back and forth. Oh, that's why. I'm like, why is that going back and forth? It's like how I got it up on my full screen. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, Cupcake. Yeah. Anyways, and basically, I got the reaction I was looking for, which was very nice. And I wrote a second one about a completely different fandom that I'm, again, not a part of. And again, we were talking about Has-Been Hotel and just the one character in it and the one person really loving the one character in it and me going, let me find some pictures. And then saying things, and it's like, let me put this in a Google Doc and play. And the one person was like, oh my gosh, she's writing again. I'm like, yes, I am. And basically she just, little cat scream emojis everywhere. Like, I was like, yes, because you're telling me about what pushes your buttons. Thank you. But the second one is a little bit more geared towards if I ever want to do like AO3 or something like that, or have a Patreon myself, where it's more in depth and exploring the relationships between the reader as a part of Overwatch, because you don't really like the games are fun. I'm not saying they're not, but for me, my idea was the reader is the communications tech at Overwatch, because you're going to have people behind the scenes at base coordinating. It's just, that makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, but it ruins the fun idea that they're one-man armies if you have to think about all the support staff it takes to keep all those fucking superheroes going.
True. I know, but
no one thinks about the army of legitimate support staff it takes for a special forces team to go in and do a mission. Yeah, of course, 12 guys that are about to kick ass, but they need somebody to clean their guns, keep their armor, get them information, get them there, get them back, feed them.
Patch them up.
Patch them up.
So, the whole thing of, it was kind of like going back and forth, like in time. So starting in the present for one paragraph, then going 2 months back from the reader's perspective, and then again flashing forward to present, going back in time a month, and then flashing forward again a little bit. So it was kind of back and forth to kind of explain where it started and how that relationship started. So again, with the flashbacks, there's a little bit of that slow burn, just a little bit. And actually, it was inspired by a Pinterest pin of an artist rendering of Jesse McCree. And I put it in there because I had that thought of, let me just go right between those outspread knees. Thanks. Yes. And putting like mom friend Mercy in there, which was always fun. But then the second one, kind of what happens, if they go off the grid, when they go off the grid, why they go off the grid, like no communications at all, like shit's hit the fan. Starting kind of off of that, like, oh, we're off on another mission, doing whatever that mission is. And all of a sudden, they lost communication going, we're going silent, we're going radio dark because, and then I don't know if I'm going to have a reason, but kind of the obvious thing is shit's hit the fan. And then also basing off of another fan fiction I love, Hanzo's and Genji's mother showing up and going, we know where they are and we need someone's help. And that help being, it's like we need help from a specific communications person, whoever that person would be, doesn't matter who it is, because infiltration, and it might help having someone get in there who knows these three people and from Overwatch, so that, it's not just some random person that they don't know whether or not they can trust. And so kind of going off of that of, well, I'm like junior communications tech, so like a second person. So like there's the main lead contact and then the secondary person, who right now is the reader, because it's been a year since the first one. Too early for another promotion. And so kind of sitting there going like, I'm somewhat expendable. Jesse may not agree, but I'm somewhat expendable. Let me go. And kind of going from there. And also getting an idea for a specific tattoo to cover up the scar that they got in the first story. Maybe. Just a little bit. But yeah, so I was having a lot of fun. I was deep in, like, there's a couple times where I had 20 minutes between calls, so I was literally sitting there with my head in my hands, like, eyes closed, and going, where am I taking this? And just running through it in my brain. And, not that way, let's go this way. And, because that's usually how I do the whole, let's get the scenes in my brain, and then let's write them down. So sometimes it means I don't write a lot, because, well, my brain's like, I could tweak this a little bit more. And let's tweak it a little bit more. And yeah. In reference to the picture that you posted, Cupcake, of that holy t-shirt, same thing goes for people with tattoos. Don't judge. That person with the two full sleeves could be the doctor who's going to save your life in 2 weeks.
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
Tattoos are just tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, kind of took over there for a little bit. Because I'm like, writing! Yay!
All right. You're good.
Good.
So, but let me actually see something here. So since I've joined that server, how many little blurbs have I written? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on a minute. I have to go back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7. Started 2 others. Started 3 others. 8. 4. And started 4 others as like secondaries or separate ones. I'm like, yeah. This server is good for my my brain. And I actually started writing down the stats for Mission Leaf. Actual, like, these are the character descriptions. This is what they look like. This is what their powers are. This is, actually writing it down. Because most of that's in my head. So, yeah. That's why I wasn't really surprised when Leaf popped up in my brain the other day. Whacked me upside the head. It's like, hello. It's like, oh, you're just in your boxers. Okay, thanks. Like, snort. What? Wait a minute. What is... I'm just looking through... Oh, okay. I had written this down as a... I'd also written another one as a submission for the horror, scary... It's a YouTube creator called Lazy Masquerade, and he does like the scary stories, horror, creepypastas. So I was like, what is this? Oh, that's what that is. It was a submission for like a scary story or scary artwork based on a prompt. And I was like, oh, that's what that was. Like X amount of words. And I was like, I can pound out that many words. Let's do this. Anyways. And then another story idea revolves around discussing there's artwork of the one character from Pokemon, and he's wearing like black dress shirt, black dress pants, orange tie, and me saying like I can imagine exactly the suit coat he would be wearing with this based on the character he is and what kind of Pokemon he has. And then thinking, well, he's tall enough that suit coat could be a dress on me. Rayhan's like 6'7", 6'8". So, yeah. He's... Him and Guzma are the two tallest. It's like Rayhan, Guzma, Leon. Yes, I know a lot about these, even though I don't play the game because, well, we talk about them a lot. Then going like, like, but for me, it's like the way where the suit coat buttons would be around my waist. So I'm like, I would feel like I would need to wear a shirt under that just so I wouldn't feel like I would like flash anybody. The, you know, the boobies, like I don't want to flash anybody. And then putting that in a Google Doc because I'm like, eventually I'm going to write something about this. I don't know when. Maybe tonight because my brain is like, maybe. But so yeah, oftentimes it's with the way my brain goes, it's a word or a phrase or a picture or something. And I'm like, where can I go with this? And it's a lot of fun.
Good.
But the second Overwatch one, it was a statement that popped in my brain. And then I had to write it down because I'm like, I don't want to forget this because this is really good. It's also based on an interpretation of McCree that I'm kind of running with. And yeah, so that's a lot of fun for me because I think it just the whole like I almost feel like I don't know if it was just being overweight, being slightly depressed, and then going like I'm losing weight and being happier, and now I'm writing again, and that's making me even happier, and it's great.
Such greatness. So good.
Yes. Skeletor is not wrong in this meme. People just don't want to think about it. The reason dogs love squeaky toys is because it sounds like tiny animals dying. Skeletor will return next week with more disturbing facts. I'm like, what this? Technically, that's not disturbing because that's hashtag truth. Ah. Hashtag the truth. Do, 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 do. Oh, someone posted a selfie in another server. She got pretty white hair.
Ooh.
I mean, that's weird because I've been thinking about doing something with my hair that's just different. Like, and see the thing is the one hairstyle. I'm like, should I try this? I'm like, but I don't know if I've got a good head shape to try that hairstyle. Like, I've had pixie cuts, but like I'm thinking like closer than a pixie cut, a little bit shorter, and I'm like, I just don't know if I got the right head shape for that.
Do what makes you happy. Fuck the haters.
No, I think it would look good on you. With a slightly brighter color.
Yeah, so I was thinking like slightly brighter color, like because what got me thinking about it was a specific hairstyle on a man,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, longer on one side, like still having like a shock of hair that would like you would be able to like do something with, but the rest of your head being like, you know, not 2 inches, but like several inches long or closer, like either like shaving it or so, and then dyeing the rest of it like this, like a pretty red color or something. And I'm like,
hey,
I don't know.
If you don't like it, it will always grow back.
But what if it doesn't?
Then she can invest in a wig.
And then there's the other part of me that goes, but I'm also on the I'd like to see how long I can grow my hair out journey. So I'm like, I don't know what I want to do now. Granted, I can always start over.
Choices.
Have
you dyed the hair you have right now?
I have. It's been many years, though. At least 5 years.
I was going to say you could donate it, but if you've dyed it, then you can't.
Yeah, it hasn't been anything too funky. But I have dyed it before.
Okay.
So, at least twice, and I've also had it permed a few times. So, yeah.
I cannot imagine you with a perm. Well, I can. It just looks not like you.
I can. Oh, I would see in your pictures of high school. Pixie cut perm.
Yeah. She showed me this picture. I was like, what? Who talked you into this?
My mother.
Or a perm. What the fuck?
Well, I've learned to hold my own with my mom. She's like, your hair looks so good at chin length. I'm like, I know. I'm growing it out. Thanks.
Someone had the audacity to tell me I'd look better clean shaven.
I was like, no. No, not baby face Cupcake.
I have literally worn this beard since I was 17. I am.
Are we sure there is a chin under there?
What?
Are we sure there's a chin under there?
Not much, honestly.
Oh.
But you can see my jaw. Got these bulldog jaws. No, seriously. I look like my grandpa Bill. This took me forever to figure out because I had to find photos of my father's father when he was younger, before he was old and bald. And I look like my grandpa Bill, which is freaky to me because he was an asshole. Like, I look like my father, clear, but my father never wore a beard the entire time I was alive. He had, like, scraggle when he died just because he wasn't shaving anymore. He never got to a beard. And he grew a nice beard. Like, I've seen him in old photos from, like, the 70s, and he had a nice beard. And that's clearly he and my paternal grandfather are the reasons I can grow facial hair like this. But, like, if you had told me before I hit puberty that I was going to be a hairy motherfucker, I would have had no clue it was coming. Because the genetics didn't pop out till I was almost full grown. Like, I was like, what? I want to say it was like the 5th grade I started growing a mustache. By 6th grade I had the whole Burt Reynolds thing going. And then I didn't have any facial hair. And then when I was like, what was it, man? It was like sophomore, junior year, all of a sudden.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, I had like goatee, and then all of a sudden the sides of my face grew out. It was like full beard by junior year.
Yeah. You remember that photo I shared of my grandmother when she was a teenager?
Right.
And you're like, holy shit, I've seen you make that face. I'm like,
I was like, hey, look, it's Mission Another Life. You're like, that's my grandmother. I'm like, hey, look, genetics are real. I can tell from this photo.
And then you look at a photo of my mom. There's like 2 photos I can think of my mom when she was younger. I'm like, yeah. And it was funny because I was picking my mom up from the airport. And she had one of like the airport guys helping her take her luggage out. And I hop out to like help out. And this guy like looks at me and does a double take. He's like, what the? I was like, yes, I know. I look like her. It's okay. I sound like her on the phone. I faked out my aunt before on the phone. Say, hello. Hey, Joe. Let me get my mom. Mom!
Right.
Take off my work headset. No. But yeah, it's like, yeah. And I think, like, especially, like, even with my uncle and his, now, his older daughter looks more of a mixture between her parents. But, oh my gosh, her younger sister looks like her dad. And then also looks like my great-grandmother. When my cousin's son was born, we looked at his head and went, yep, that's the Cyper head. He's part of our family. That's Uncle Bill's head. Right there. So, it's like, welcome to the family, Cole. Sorry about your head. It's family with very big heads. Very big heads. So we're sorry. We're sorry, little man. You got the big head. We're so sorry. And then I think my younger brother looks like one of like my great uncles or something like that. But my maternal grandfather looked like, when he was younger, looked like a cousin for Elvis. Like, you could say, like, that look, you look like you'd be related to Elvis when he was younger, like from like the 50s or whatever, 40s or 50s.
I have no idea what my father's parents look like, so I have no idea what features I got from them. He never talked about them. They were dead long before I was born.
Mm.
And he was not on speaking terms with them or that side of the family by the time I was born, so.
I don't blame him. At all.
I certainly look like my parents' child. I can tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. I know my mom's sister said I have a lot of mannerisms of my father, and I'm like, I'm not very surprised. Out of each of my parents, I would say I'm most like my father, personality-wise. Yeah. Very quiet-spoken reader. Very patient, but I can get angry. And it's like, eh. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there muttering to myself, like, and it's like, is everything okay? Well, no, I wasn't going to say anything, but since you asked.
The only time you can tell my brother and I are siblings, because we're half siblings, is when we're acting around each other, because we share mannerisms. Otherwise, you can't. Because he's like a foot taller than me and a redhead. And a lot of the Irish in the family comes out in him, where a lot of the French came out in me. Because we don't share fathers. And apparently a lot of our fathers came out in each other.
Yeah, my brothers are like 6'1", 6'2"-ish. Yeah. So are a lot of my male cousins on that side of the family. They're at least 6 feet.
Yeah, my brother's got like a whole foot on me.
Yeah, because it's my grandfather. My paternal grandfather is very tall.
Mm-hmm.
And so, kind of trickled down a little bit. That's Dina. So, and then you have my niece, who, because my brother is her father, well, she's 5'2" now and she's 12.
Jesus.
So, and her brother's like 3 years younger than she is, and is almost the same height. He's a string bean because, well, he's shooting up like a string bean, but
Right.
I'd
be worried if he was filling out at the same time. He'd end up looking like.
Oh yeah, that would not be good. Yeah, no, he's still a string bean, which is nice. But yeah, I'm like, oh, so like my sister-in-law sent a picture via text, and I'm like, when the hell did she grow up? Like, she hit puberty, and it was like, oh, you're getting that from your dad's side of the family too. Because, hi, puberty at 11, 12 years old. Hi, just like Auntie Juke. Hi. Sorry about that. Sorry about your genetics. I was like, oh, she's growing up, and yeah. Ooh, Twitch. So.
Did I show you my new back massager?
I don't think so.
Massager? What?
Yeah, this thing.
That doesn't look like a back massager. Usually they're small and they vibrate.
I said a back massager, not a masturbatorial aid.
Aren't they the same thing?
No.
Okay, this is an outside of the body back massager. Okay.
That's the difference.
Yes, that's the difference, Cupcake.
I'm so glad we have a sense of humor, because otherwise that comment would have got me in a lot of trouble.
No, if anything, that's just a cheaper masturbatorial aid. Because those wands are expensive.
Yeah, the Hitachi ones.
Good stuff. Oh, the good ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good ones, yeah.
That was like $32.
I need to get one of those.
But oh god, does it work?
Well, that's good.
Because I have done something to my left side.
Yeah, it's funny because the day before hubby got home, I went and got him a 90-minute massage because I was like, yeah, my neck's starting to hurt. And I told the masseuse, I was like, just all over the body's fine. You know, they obviously don't touch in certain areas, like private areas and on women. For women presenting folks, they don't touch your breast, you know, that kind of thing. But
right.
I was like, but just focus on neck, upper back.
Right.
Because that's basically, I work at a desk all day. And just some follow-up notes. She noticed that your upper back was still a little bit tense. I'm like, no shit. I could have told you that. Like, I'm much more relaxed than I was, but I'm like, I could have told you because I can tell it's not fully relaxed. Okay. Hubby just texted me and a friend of ours. Okay. So someone posted, shout out to all the people I know that have dropped acid, smoked crack, snorted speed, and shot dope, but wanted to tell me about how crazy it is that I got a vaccine that hasn't been yet approved by the FDA. I'm just like, well, yeah. It's like they tell all these drugs, but you're gonna tell me I'm crazy whack for getting a non-approved vaccine, and you've shot yourself up with needles from who knows where? But that's another whole conversation. And I don't know how long we want this podcast to go right now. So
we have to stop at least by 3 my time.
Okay, which is another hour. I was like, wait a minute, I have to do the math. 3 hours behind me. I'm like, oh, it's almost 5. So
I mean, I have to
another hour.
Like dinner soon.
Well, let's leave. Well, then we can leave off on the masturbation device speech and enjoy that. That's good, right? And I. Oh, I don't know if Kiki's ever heard me speak with filters off before.
No, I have.
Maybe. Hysterical.
Hysterical.
I do need to get a new one of those, by the way, at some point, because mine doesn't vibrate anymore. But it was one of those, like, just cheapo ones you put batteries in, and it's nothing fancy, and, you know.
Well, if it doesn't
nothing like the ones that are,
vibrate anymore, then yeah, it's not very helpful.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can still use it. It's just not as fun as when it vibrated.
Why does your personal filter have to vibrate?
Because I wanted to.
But how does that make it work better?
Because it's fun.
It's fun that your personal filter vibrates?
Did Cupcake miss something? Or is he...
Take a leak, he comes back to hear people talking about their personal filters vibrating to put batteries in them?
Okay. I'm talking about a dildo, honey.
Is it really a dildo if it vibrates? Wouldn't they just make it a vibrator?
Okay, it started off as a vibrator. Now it's just a dildo.
It became a dildo. Sorry for convenience. Escalator now stairs.
Yes.
He just has to sit there and deal with it.
Yes.
Should probably clean up my
What am I looking for again?
Some marbles.
There we go. Really? Still?
Huh?
I was trying to see what our most watched video was still.
What is it?
Podcast episode 45, Sexcapades.
Why is that one the most watched?
I'm gonna say based on title.
Oh, Sexcapades?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess that's fine. Oh, hello! I wonder why you could be down here, my good man.
Brahma!
Why would my boy Rusty come down here of all times? I don't.
Mostly from people looking up the word sexcapades on YouTube.
I mean, clearly we've stuck pornography into YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I'll RSVP for the company picnic next week because I'm
Why
out
don't
of.
you RSVP for the company picnic?
Because I feel like it.
Company
Apparently, you have to
pick me.
RSVP.
And no, I'm not drinking. I'm trying to use up these stupid. I bought these stupid mixers like last October. I've been trying to get rid of them for a year. So, carbonated water and mix it.
Awesome.
I know my life is so exciting, isn't it? Oh, shut up. Who asked you anyway, Bear?
I don't know if the people... Someone shared a picture of stickers on a minivan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if these people have a sense of humor or if they're just oblivious. So it says the minivan has two hands, okay? And the one on the left says 2 in the front and it has 2 fingers, the index, pointer finger, and the middle finger up, the ring finger and pinky finger down, and then the thumb across as though it's holding the 2 down fingers. 2 in the front, and then on the right is a fist, 5 in the back. 2 in the front, 5 in the back. And it's just like, do they have a sense of humor or are they oblivious? Either way, it's kind of funny.
I don't think that was a mistake.
I don't.
I hope it's not a mistake.
I hope it's not a mistake.
I
hope
would
they have
want
a
to be
sense of humor.
again, but I hope that's not a mistake.
Okay, I'm also giggling because someone finally saw my message in response to them on another Discord server. It's hilarious. Okay, hold on. Okay, so someone had put, where is it? Someone had put in, shit. You know, fuck this hot flash, you know, etc. Fuck me, I'm so tired of hot flashes. Basically, yeah, just fuck me, I'm tired of this hot flash. And then I was like, well, I would. It's like, I'll pass because I don't want to make you more hot. And then they finally saw that message and they're like, how dare you commit something that smooth? Like, because... That was the first thing that came to mind. It was like, to that statement of "fuck me, I hate hot flashes" was, I'll pass. I don't want to make you even hotter. The smooth just rolled right out. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. I'm just like, oh, so glad they enjoyed it. Okay, I've been laughing so hard lately. Oh my gosh. Ugh. It's not coming out. Scrolling through lots of pictures. Scrolling through lots of pictures. And I'm pulling up. Teams, are you going to catch up? Thank you. Come on, Discord. Would you load, please?
Never!
Because I'm trying to... Oh, geez, this had to have been, like, way early this morning. Oh, yeah, like 9 o'clock. Already at 9 o'clock. Oh, geez. Where the hell was it? Was it in Musa? Oh, yeah, there it is. It was, oh, fuck me, these goddamn hot flashes are murder. And I replied, I might pass so I don't add to the hot flash winky face. And someone put a coffin emoji. as a reaction, like, I'm dead. Clocking out. It got me confused because they replied to what I said to them in a different channel, so I was like, "Her? Her Rachel? Oh, they put it in this channel, not that channel." And that's why I was having issues. Skype was up. Oftentimes with work, when I have things running in the background, audio for calls will be a little bit funky. So it's like, I was having some funky audios, and then I'm like, oh, that would be why. So I had to restart my computer today.
Oh, did Kobayashi Dragon Maid come back and I missed it? Did I see mango on that?
Yep.
Ew.
It's good.
I don't like mango.
Mango's okay. It's not my... It's like low down on my choices for fruit. Not that it's bad. It's just...
Oh, the second season did come back, and I just...
Yeah, it's all the way done, actually.
Yeah, and I just missed it. I'll have to watch that.
Oh. Interesting. I'm going to have to read this. Anyways.
Are there any, shows anybody's looking forward to? Movies?
Besides Dune? Not much.
Well, we're all looking forward to Doom.
Dune?
Dune.
Yes.
Dune. When's it supposed to come out?
October.
I think September or October. Yeah.
Might have to force hubby to go see that.
The
Well, since it's 2, why don't we cut it off here? Is that okay with everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Ending the podcast.
What are we going to name it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I don't care.
I usually name it based on the content, and I figure that out while I'm editing it.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure.
The one with the stuff, which I think I've already named an episode.
The one with the rants?
The one with the marital aid.
Ah!
Yes.
Anyway.
Sorry about that. You caught me in the middle of reading a sentence. I'm like, okay, back up out of that, because they're still talking to them, and you can read that later. Thank you.
Thanks for podding with me.
You're welcome. Always fun podding with you.
Bye.
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 Where's the button?
And then she was gone.
I was trying to find the stop record button.
I hope your voice got recorded this time.
It should have. So I forgot to reset up OBS properly after reinstalling Windows.
Oh no!
Because I do multi-track audio.
Right.
So that was the issue.
Okay.
I've done it properly this time. Okay, now I'm going to stop recording. Bye.
Thank you once again for listening to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki, Cupcake, and Miss. I think you flesh beings also need a general amount of potable water as well. But what do I know, I'm just some tea-powered robot. Farewell my fellow internet beings.